that grain, it will just pop.
Hopefully you can kind of see the black lines in
What
there.
I use is Transtint. I had someone ask me a question the other day. Hey, I saw you made some elm cabinets. How did you make that elm look so beautiful? Well, elm is an amazing wood. Let me grab a little scrap here. Elm, the best feature about elm is its crazy grain. The grain will twist with itself and wind around. Now this is just a cutoff. I did not use this piece. I used the good stuff in the cabinet you see over here. But the grain, if you can highlight that grain, it will just pop. Sometimes you can highlight it very subtly. Sometimes you want a big pop and you can highlight it. So what do I mean by highlight? Well, that's what all of this is right here. What I use is Transtint. This is Transtint. I don't know if you can get a close-up of that or not. But this is Transtint. And there are a few different colors. And what I'll do with this dye is I mix my own to get the colors I want. I use more dyes on my furniture and projects than I really do stains. I still use like Minwax and general finishes and stuff depending on the project. But sometimes you just want that perfect color. And I love using dyes on the wood. It just, to me, it seems more rich, pops a little more. So I just mix my own. You can see here I have a jar full of black and a jar full of red, and these are just little half-pint jars, mason jars. And what you do is you'll pour in some denatured alcohol into your jar, and then you're going to add some of the Transtint. Well, how do you add it? I like to do recipes because if there's a color I really like and I want to use again, I want to know how I did it. Or if I ran out on my project and I need to make more, I want it to be the same color. So I do recipes. I literally write them down with pencil because I'm old and that's what I do. And I write down, okay, I have 4 ounces. And by 4 ounces, I mean I take a scale, put the mason jar on there, then add 4 ounces of denatured alcohol into the jar. That's how I keep it simple for myself. Do it how you want. I'm just telling you how I do it. And then I will take this teaspoon right here, and I will just take the dye. So if I was doing black, I'd fill up the black, and I'd dump it in there, dump a few in, stir it up really good, check it on a test piece. Is it dark enough? Isn't it dark enough? If it's not, add a little bit more into there, and I keep track on my little sheet of paper how many teaspoons I've put in, and when I get it just the way I want it, that's what I do, okay? So, like in this black one here, this is 4 ounces of denatured alcohol with 3 teaspoons of black. And that's what got this beautiful cabinet right here. That's how I got that cabinet dyed all black. Now, it's not going to stay black. It's going to be beautiful, and we'll talk about that. So what I'll do next, I mix this up. Looks real nice. I'm going to take my piece of lumber right here. And maybe I'll record myself doing this too, so you can see exactly the process. So maybe I'll run it in the corner or over me here while I talk. But I'll take the piece of lumber, and I'm going to take some of these Scotch-Brite little pads. So I get the big pad like this. I order them by the case. I'll put a link in the description so you can get them there. It'll be Amazon links. So I'll put links for everything we're talking about here that I can, and you can get them there if you want. Shortcut helps me out too, because Transtint is not cheap. So anytime you buy from me, I appreciate it. All right, I'll cut these Scotch-Brite pads up into little tiny squares, and I'm going to rub it on there to make sure I'm not getting any snags. So I'll rub this all around, make sure I don't have any snags, because the wood, you know, sometimes you can sand it as good as you can, you're going to get a little spot you missed or it wasn't quite right. But usually I'll sand up to 220. I water pop it, which is spray it with water, let it dry, and I sand it again. More times than not, I'm going to break out my hand plane, and I'm going to actually plane the wood before I do this. It just gets a nice smooth surface, and I like that feel. So anyhow, what you do, dip your little thing in here. Make sure you have some gloves, you know, some blue gloves. Make sure you have some of those on before you dip in the dye, and you just rub it in, just let the wood soak up as much black dye as it wants. Just let it ride, fill it up. Get the edges, the corner, make sure you're getting it in there, rub it in there, and just let it soak. Set it to the side, let it dry. Now here's where the magic happens. So I'm going to show you a picture here. So I'll get a close-up of these. This is elm without any black first. It's just elm with red dye, because I want this cabinet here is actually going to be a red cabinet. So what I want, I'm going to use this red mahogany, I think that's this one, which is in this jar. That red mahogany is going to go over this wood, and that's going to be the color I'm using. but I want the grain to pop. So I'm putting black behind it. And when you put black, I know you're not going to be able to see it because of all the reflection of lights. I can tell from the little camera thing. But it's going to have black underneath. It's just going to look beautiful. You can see that black just pops compared to the elm with just some red on there. So when you get that grain to pop, it's gorgeous. And here's the secret. You put that on there. Now you're going to sand all that black off. But elm is an open pored wood. And you could do this with oak, with anything with open pores. And you want to highlight the grain, you can do it with this, right? But you're going to sand it all back. And you know what happens? Because the grain is going to soak up that black, those grain lines. And when you sand off, those grain lines just stay black. It is amazing. So what's going to happen, the next thing you have to do after you sand, make sure you clean all the dust off because there's going to be black dust. Clean it all off. Once the black dust is all gone, you're going to take some shellac. I use patina shellac, patina shellac. Anything that's clear, you can use something that's light and clear. If you wanted to, you could get the spray. That just as long as it doesn't have wax, you want de-waxed shellac. If you don't know how to make shellac, I make my own from flakes. I have a video. I'll leave a link. Check it out. It'll show you how to make your own shellac. It's one of my first videos, so feel free to laugh at it and make fun of me. I don't care. But you can make the shellac, and you're going to take it. You're going to put the shellac right over what you've sanded. Okay, when you get that shellac over there, it's going to create a barrier because if you did not put that barrier in there, your black is going to mix with the red. And guess what? It's just going to smear. It's going to look like garbage. So you need something that keeps that black in the grain. So after you sand, or after you sand the black off, you're going to put on 1 or 2 coats of shellac. In these jars, I keep them at like 3-pound mix. If you don't know what that is, watch the video. It'll tell you a little bit. But I usually water it down a little bit. I put it in a different jar, thin it out a little bit with more denatured alcohol. By the way, if anybody has a secret on how to use these, I don't know, I think they came from big box store, these big denatured alcohol jugs. If you know how to pour out of here into a little jar like this without spilling it everywhere, leave it in the comments directions for me, because I cannot figure out, every time I use this, it spills everywhere. So anyway, going back, put your coat of shellac on there, right? Nice and thick. It's fine. Just get it on there, get it sealed. Then here's the secret. You're going to sand that shellac off once it's dry. Let it completely dry. You're going to sand all that shellac off. What's that do for you, you say? Well, that shellac does 2 things. One, the shellac that stays behind in the grain is covering up the black. It gives it a little bit of a seal in there so that black can't mix with the red. It just helps, right? So sand it. Don't sand a ton, just sand off the shellac. Shouldn't take much effort. You can probably do it by hand if you're worried about it, depending on the size of the project. But you can take that, sand it right off. Then guess what you do? You grab another one of these, wearing your blue gloves. You take your red dye, which my mixture for this one, which made that sample right there, is I actually put some red and yellow in it to give it a little bit of an orangey hue. Now you find whatever shade you like. I just tested a few things. I tested until I got to the color I wanted. And once you have that red, you're going to take it on here. You're going to wipe it right over everything. Wipe it right over. Make sure it's nice and even. And you set it aside and you let it dry. After it dries, you look at it and you decide, boy, did the wood absorb enough of the red dye. Because that's the cool thing about dye. It's pretty thin and it soaks into the wood. So you're going to take that dye and you're going to go, I think I need another coat. Dip, wipe, 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 till you get the color you want. Once you get it to the color you want and it's completely dry, guess what we're going to do? We're going to put a coat of shellac on there. Why are we putting a coat of shellac on there? Because some dyes, if you're putting a coat on the top of this, say it's some sort of polyurethane or anything else, sometimes those solvents that are in those finishes can interact with the denatured alcohol in the dye, and you need to seal it off. And the good thing about shellac, everything sticks to shellac. A lot of times for most of my projects, if I'm not using Osmo, which Osmo I usually only use on raw wood, but if you're using a stain, I usually coat my stains first with shellac before I put on a top coat a lot of times if I'm staining something or using dye. So keep that in mind, just a little tip for you. But you put a coat of shellac on there, a nice even coat. Doesn't have to be super thick. I mean, you can get the spray, the Bullseye Zinsser spray of shellac. That's de-wax. Just get the clear, and you can spray that on there. One coat is usually enough to make a difference. You usually don't need more than that. But most of my projects, like for this cabinet, it's just going to be coated in shellac. I'm not going to do anything fancy with it, and I'm just doing shellac, which is exactly what these are. These have a couple coats of shellac on them. That's why they're kind of shiny. I like shellac. It's easy, it's cheap, the VOCs are just denatured alcohol. So good stuff. And that's how you take a simple piece of lumber like this from elm, just looking like a plain Jane stained piece of elm, something that has grain that just stands out and pops. It's just beautiful. So, and again, does not have to be elm. It works really well with elm because elm's grain is amazing. But you might have a piece of red oak or white oak where the elm is just, or the grain, sorry, not the elm, the grain is just beautiful, and you want to highlight it. This is how you highlight it. You don't have to use as dark a black as what I'm using here. You could take denatured alcohol and use maybe just 1 or 1.5 teaspoons of Transtint. Mix it in there. Wipe it right on. It doesn't have to be real dark unless you want it to be real dark, but sometimes just a little bit of dark is just going to highlight and make things pop, right? But always test it on a scrap piece of the wood you're using just to see how it looks. But this is how I pop my grain, and I usually do it on elm because I'm 2 elm built. I love elm. It's my favorite wood, and I use it for a lot of projects. So I like to make it stand out, and that's how I do it. It just pops. Any of those open grain woods, this is going to work amazing. So I hope I helped you. Somebody was just asking how that dye worked, and I just used Transtint, and you can see I've used it a lot over the years. And these last quite a while. You're not using a ton at once. You don't need a lot. So anyway, I hope this helped. And if you subscribe to my channel, you'll definitely see finishing pictures of this, finishing videos of this project. I'll probably make a short or 2 on there, and it'll pop up on your feed if you're following me. If you'd like to do CNC work, I do have a lot of CNC instructional videos and videos of that. And I do woodworking, CNC. It's all a big mix here. I don't just do YouTube videos. I make a lot of projects for people, and usually they're personalized, and it takes me a while to make them. I do have a real job too besides this, and I coach basketball, have a family. So I'm busy, and I don't get a lot of videos out, but this one I thought was important and could help some people make their projects look nicer, better, make them pop, get those compliments. Ooh, look at that project. Look at how it stands out. It's awesome. Well, you can get that with just a simple trick like this. And it doesn't take much time because all of this dries really quick. Shellac dries fast. The dye dries pretty quick. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, and go be great.